we want to make sure to make it a single player game that people want to play, and something that we're having fun making, which means that when we play it, it's still fun, which is really cool. A lot of times you're playing a game, you're like, oh god, I don't want to do this anymore, and we're having fun still playing the game, which is really cool. And then in multiplayer, sticking to the rules that were set up in CS, and there's 70,000 people at any time online playing CS. Go to Gamespot right now, and there's 70,000 CS players period today, and these guys, they are very particular about breaking things and messing stuff up. So we're very worked with the Valve guys a lot on making sure that in multiplayer the CTs had a uniform color, and the things, their silhouettes are easy to point out and things like that. So we've taken all the CS weapons, all the weapons you see in traditional Counter-Strike, and up-resed them and made them look better. Basically, and you'll see that when we play the game. All the weapons have been reskinned and have been remodeled. They're about 66% more polished. And it just looks really good. It makes the weapons look more realistic, and they still have the same firing mechanism. We haven't messed with the gameplay at all. They still work exactly the same, but they just look a lot better. The next big step was to go in, and we took the original CS models, and we said, we want to keep these guys the same way that they look, and the game isn't to portray from that. They have a solid color to them. They represent the the SWAT and the SEAL and things like that, the GSG9 and the like. We remodeled them all with higher qualities, and we ended up with these kind of guys here, which is just really amazing looking, new, high-res, 60% higher models with better skins. So we've gone ahead and done that visual overhaul to all the art stuff in the game. We've also gone through and we're putting in high-quality sounds in the game, but primarily just trying to build a strong single-player experience. It's been our primary focus. And in that single-player experience, you basically are popping between these scenarios in the world. You start out in one level you're in France, another level you're in Russia, another level you're in the U.S., another level is Japan, Colombia jungle. We're popping around all these different Arctic desert environments, urban Asian environments, and what else? I'm missing one. Snowy environments, Arctic, I said that. But desert, yeah, that's right. So we're popping around all these different places, and we're playing different CT organizations, and it's always a different CT that you're starting as. So you start as, let's say, you're a Russian Spetsnaz or you're the GSG9. You really don't know. Some of the missions that we have, you start as you're briefed beforehand. You got like a commander guy kind of yelling over his head, there's going to be some stuff going on here, and you got to do this and the other thing. We have other missions where you just start out and you have no idea what's going on, and basically you're fed information as you progress through the game. Another big focus for us, the way Ritual likes to build key scenarios and cool moments in games. The big thing about a gamer playing a game is they walk away and they go, I remember this totally cool thing that happened in the level. It was holy cow, it was this big deal. So in all our levels, we focus on these key moments. And it could be anything from a visual scene that you see, or a helicopter crashing into a building, or things that you just don't expect, like a whole building coming down, or a guy getting blasted up into the air, or guys coming through windows. These big moments we're focusing on to make sure that the player feels like it's part of the world. And, this game is very bipedal. Everyone's a humanoid, so we want to make sure that these guys, obviously, they look like they fit into their worlds. And each level, since it's a different location, we've made custom animations and custom sequences for almost every level in the game. So when you're playing through the game, custom cool stuff happens in every single level. And so it's a real big push, and you'll see a lot of that. So each scenario follows a particular set of storyboards and set of rules, and I think it adds a lot to making sure that people can jump into these new scenarios and be like, ooh, where am I now? Where am I now? And now, ooh, I'm in a subway in Japan, and it crashed, There's a huge gambit in the whole world to go to and to do really cool scenarios. And so we've got one where you are your Russian Spetsnaz that's going to clean out a missile silo that's part of that now that after the Cold War, and they're going and cleaning out the warheads and demilitarize and get everybody out. When they get there and there's some terrorists and they're already there, and then we find out later there's 2 terrorist groups in there fighting over the missiles. It's just craziness. Got another one where you're going to a Colombian drug lord, in Colombia, you're flying in, helicopters low, and you drop out. It's kind of homage to Predator kind of thing, And there's a scene where you're flying in, the guys in there doing the thing from Predator. It's just like fun movie stuff and things that people are used to seeing, and even things that people haven't seen before. We have like a bank robbery sequence where you got to go in through the sewers and come up, and it's in Miami. These guys have gone nuts. You got to get in and save hostages. We've added a lot of new gameplay dynamics too, where you for single player in Counter-Strike. There's a lot of elements like the hostages, like the VIP escorting and stuff. So we have some levels that are VIP escorting, where you're basically, there's a VIP, one in particular. This guy walks out into a crowd, and he's really not supposed to be there. He's down in like the slums, and he's kind of doing political handshaking, hanging out, and he's got a whole team of counter-terrorists there to protect him, and they're all kind of like, why is he doing this? There's bad guys here. And so you're just hanging out, and this guy gets attacked, and he gets attacked, and you got to chase him down. Stealth system is actually pretty unique. In first person, it's kind of a pain doing stealth in first person without really, giving the player the ability to see externally. Like Metal Gear and Splinter Cell, you're in third person, you can see everything around you. So we've added a fiber optic camera, and you get in these particular zones where you can turn on the fiber optic camera, and what happens is you get it's like snaking a little camera up and over a box, and you'll be able to look around and see the guys wandering around. So it's essentially like one of those stealth kind of games where you go in and hit use, and the camera goes up and gives you a view of what the bad guys are doing while you're safe. So it's a different kind of stealth dynamic. We actually thought about that one for a while because stealth in first person is usually pretty difficult. Nulf does an interesting one where you go into a shadow. And we have areas in the game where you're hidden. You're in a volume of space that it's invisible to the player, but you're kind of in a shadow zone. You're ducking down low, and you get to another spot and it says, bring up your fiber cam. You bring up your fiber cam. You can now watch the guys, see their patterns, and then go run past them. So you get that same kind of stealth game dynamic while still staying and sticking in first person. We don't want to add a third person element and kind of break the whole Counter-Strike first person. Counter-Strike and CZ will merge together, and the engine enhancements and the new GUI and stuff like that will merge together. And then we'll eventually trickle out the CZ maps that were only available at retail. So there's going to be a little while there where CZ people are only going to be able to play with CZ people on those particular maps. But then for the single player, if you want to play single player CZ and get the enhancements, the weapon and character and texture enhancements and sound enhancements, there's a lot of stuff we're doing, then they've got to buy the product.
Yeah.
Otherwise they're just going to be playing the new maps with the old assets, and it's fine. People are playing right now. It won't detract from the current user base. It'll give them maps, this new maps, official maps that a lot of people will be playing, but they're going to be playing with the old assets.
I got